Dreams come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. They are cultivated with hard work, sweat, some tinkering, and more often than not, a little luck. Many children have dreams of owning a brand new, shiny bicycle. But for Ignaz Schwinn, his dream was making them. His dream turned reality, set a new standard in the bicycle industry, leading the way for quality and innovation. Ignaz Schwinn was born in Germany and worked on early versions of the bicycle as a mechanical engineer. In 1891, at the age of 31, Schwinn came to America for a new life. He worked for a couple of bike businesses before meeting Adolf Frederick Arnold in 1894, who'd made his fortune in Chicago's meatpacking industry. Their partnership was ripe with possibility. Chicago was on the cusp of a bicycle boom. Schwinn brought the bicycle brains, and Arnold brought the funds. In 1895, Arnold Schwinn and Company began just west of downtown Chicago. Schwinn wanted to make the most advanced bike possible. Schwinn's knowledge and experience in the industry was invaluable, and soon they had produced bikes for every price range and every purpose. Mass production, along with growing competition, drove the cost of a bicycle down. At the turn of the century, Americans were buying 1 million bikes per year. But just as mass production and competition fueled bike consumption, it also fueled automobile consumption, and that meant Americans were turning to cars more frequently than bicycles. By 1905, sales for bicycles dropped to an abysmal 250,000 as opposed to 1 million per year. Schwinn, now the sole owner, continued to do well. He'd built a reputation for quality, so while bicycle manufacturers continued to close up shop, from 300 to around a dozen, Schwinn managed to stay afloat. Schwinn bought Excelsior Motor Manufacturing and went into the motorcycle business, building the largest motorcycle factory in the world, right in Chicago. Schwinn continued to expand with the purchase of Detroit's Henderson Motorcycle Company in 1917. Suddenly, Schwinn was the third largest motorcycle manufacturer in the country, rubbing elbows with Harley-Davidson and Indian. In 1931, Schwinn stopped production of their motorcycles. Schwinn, now 71, turned over the daily operations to his son Frank. The elder Schwinn, however, kept the title of president for another 17 years. Frank Schwinn pivoted back to the original bicycle. It was, after all, the perfect mode of transportation during difficult economic times. It was free to operate and run, and it was fun. Frank also turned his focus to kids. Bicycles were now viewed as toys. Schwinn introduced the Aerocycle, a youth bicycle designed to imitate a motorcycle. It featured balloon tires, fenders, an imitation gas tank, a chrome-plated headlight, and a push-button bell. Next came the Paramount series in 1938. This was a high-end competition bike and would go on to be the top bike for U.S. pro racing. In 1949, the Black Phantom was released. This Cadillac of all bicycles had chrome detailing and a lifetime guarantee. It was a must-have for children everywhere. In 1950, 1 in 4 bicycles made in the U.S. was a Schwinn. It was common practice for bike manufacturers to sell their bikes in bulk to department stores, who then put their store brand names on them to be sold. Frank Schwinn, though, wanted to grow his brand, and he couldn't do that if their name was always replaced. So he eliminated the private labels and insisted that his brand and guarantee appear on all products. Schwinn began to work on developing bicycle retailers, with Schwinn bikes, of course, leading their merchandise. Schwinn produced the Corvette in 1954, revealing it with a picture of company executives alongside their new bike. The Corvette stayed in production for 10 years. In the 1960s, Schwinn continued to market to children and teens. They used well-known stars to advertise their bikes, and they were also an early sponsor of Captain Kangaroo. Even the captain said Schwinn bikes are best. Between the 1950s and the 1980s, Schwinn produced lightweight tandem bikes called the Schwinn Twin. And in 1963, the Stingray hit the street. This wheelie bike retrofitted bikes with motorcycle chopper elements, high handlebars, and low banana seats. In a time when selling 10,000 units of a bike was deemed successful, the Stingray, in the first 6 months, sold an amazing 45,000 units, and it was the most coveted bike all around. Multi-geared bikes began to grow in popularity. Schwinn's answer was the Varsity bike in 1960, with 8 speeds. Other models with 10 speeds included the Superior, Sierra, and Continental. The popular Varsity and Continental also debuted auxiliary brake levers. By 1972, Schwinn had 2,000 workers in their Chicago factory, making 6,000 bikes a day. In 1974, Schwinn sold a whopping 1.5 million bicycles. But bicycle trends changed with the popularity of mountain bikes and BMX bikes, and the competitors upped their game with more speed than Schwinn. The 1980s brought a changing of the guard, with nephew Edward Schwinn taking over. There were labor disputes and strikes in an 80-year-old outdated factory. Schwinn restructured and teamed up with some others, but eventually they went bankrupt in 1992. The company and name were sold. In 1993, Ignaz Schwinn's great-grandson Richard purchased one of the Paramount plants in Wisconsin. Today, Schwinn has 2 lines of bikes. There's the discount line, sold to big box stores like Walmart, and there's the Signature series, available in specialty shops and online. While the company looks different, the Schwinn name is still rolling on the roads, carrying the next generation of dreamers on its seat. Thanks for watching Memory Mountain. If you enjoyed this video, please click to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when we post our next story looking back over the landscape of Americana.